Hey guys, today we're going to show you how to get started with your new Phoenix inertial wearable by ETRAK. So when you get your wearable, it's going to come in this cool box, and we're going to show you everything that it comes with. So when you get it, it also serves as a great case too, so you don't necessarily have to throw it away, so it serves as a good case. So when you get your box, okay, first thing that you'll notice is you've got this handy dandy QR code here. Okay, so that QR code is going to be really helpful for all the different information you're going to need in terms of how to use the device, how to get started, cool tips, and different techniques you can use with your device. So don't forget that user guide. For those of you that aren't familiar using a QR code, you just open your mobile device, turn on the camera, make sure that QR code is focused on the camera, and you should have a link that's going to pop up to all of our information about your device. Okay, so it comes with, so our device comes with, it's going to come with 12 of these straps that come in different lengths. Okay, they range from extra small all the way up to double XL. And these straps are really sturdy. They have this really cool silicone on the back that's kind of built to stick to the skin so that it's built for comfort. And so when it comes to cleaning the straps, just make sure you take some form of kind of antibacterial or just a standard Clorox wipe, and you can kind of get the sweat, and they're actually really durable. So it comes with 12 of those, and we'll get to kind of how to use those a little bit later. It also comes with cool micro USB charger. So all of our units are chargeable through a micro USB port. It's going to come with your micro USB charger. And finally, you have your inertial device. Okay, once you get your device unboxed, the first thing we're going to need to do is download the app, the ETRAK Connect app that connects to your device, so you can start collecting some data. So once you go to the Apple Store, the iOS Apple Store, it's ETRAK Connect is the application. You just download it, and so once we'll go ahead and open the application here so we can see. Once you get the application opened, okay, you'll see on the screen that you can connect to a device. So to get the device connected to the app, there's a small red icon up in the top right hand corner. You're going to touch that icon. You're going to pull down, okay, and that's going to show you all the available devices that are in range. So if you have multiple Phoenix devices, you will see multiple devices. If you're doing any sort of collection where you need multiple devices, just know which one is connected to which device. Okay, so once you've got the app connected, one of the things that you want to make sure, so there's no on-off switch with the actual wearable. So the device is always streaming data. It's just a matter of whether it's connected to the app or not. So when you're not using the device, it's always a good idea just to keep the unit plugged in, so it's always charged and ready to go when you're ready to use it. If the device is fully charged, the charge light is going to turn green. So right now it's red. So just want to make sure that's fully charged when you're not using it. So starting a new session. So once we start a new session, we've got it connected. We're going to start a new session. We're going to name this session, so we're just going to call it demo. Okay. Let's get that going. From the menu, you'll see a bunch of different tests that are kind of stock options in there. We're going to do a custom test. We're just going to call it demo. Custom tests are great when you really just want to do something yourself and you're looking at something that might be unique to you. Once you get into the collection page of the application, you'll see at the top, you're going to see the name of your session. Right underneath there, you're going to see the location. So there's a little settings or gear icon on the app that you can tap. So if you want to change the name of the session, that's where you can go in there and change the name. So if we wanted to call it Demo 2, we could do that. If we want to change location. So this particular sensor, as long as the head is facing up, that is how all of the data is oriented. So if we were to turn it this way, that's obviously going to change the different data. So, flexion is now going to be abduction, etc. So you'll see some different locations in here that you can select from. We've got left upper arm, right upper arm, right lower arm, left lower leg, right upper leg, etc., etc. So we're going to select a location. So for this purpose, we're just going to say left upper arm. Okay. So some different locations as far as placing the sensor. So like we said before, we always want to make sure that that head is facing up so that the data we get is very good. So if we were going to do, let's say we're going to look at just basic elbow flexion, or we wanted to see a picture and how the arm is rotating. So we would take the device and we can kind of place it where we want it, and then from there we can strap it down with one of the appropriate straps, etc. So we're going to go ahead and start collecting so you can see what kind of data we're getting, etc. So we've changed the location to upper arm, so on your app you'll see extension, flexion, rotation, etc. So once we start, okay, you'll see a countdown in there, and you can also change the countdown in the settings app. So just so you know what you're looking at in terms of the data. So we know that the head, or the little the Bluetooth light, is facing up. So if the device is essentially moving this particular direction, okay, that is the flexion data. Okay, so that device is understanding that when it rotates in this plane, that is what we call flexion. Okay, so that's flexion. If we rotate the device where the head is facing down, okay, that is going to be extension. Okay, so and then likewise with abduction, adduction, okay, and then external and internal. So obviously, as we change the location of the sensor, the headers on the data change. Okay, so this is a 9-axis IMU, which means it's going to show us up to 9 different fields. So we can, if we want to change the data display, so let's say we want to see all of the data displayed at the same time. We'll go into change data display, touch angular and linear together, and so now we can see all the angular orientation, flexion, extension in degrees, the angular velocity in degrees per second, and then linear velocity. So just some good use cases in terms of the difference between linear velocity and angular velocity. So the linear velocities are going to be measured in, essentially, think about the old mathematics coordinate plane. So we've got up and down, okay, measuring linear acceleration in those planes. So why don't we go ahead and actually start a session, okay, so you can see what the data is doing. And actually, I'm going to hide. So change data display, I'm just going to show you the linears here, okay? So let's do this. So let's start the session again, 2, 1, and here we go. So if we're looking at our up acceleration, right, so you can see that up-down acceleration. So this type of information is really good if we want to see how an object is either stabilizing itself, so how quickly it's stabilizing itself relative to those planes, or if we're just interested in a non-human object, a machine, something that's traveling very fast, and we want to use this particular device to test a product or something like that that's moving in these planes. So we've got up, we've got down, we've got forward and backward, okay, and then we've got left and right. So if you can think about some different use cases where you would want to use linear data versus angular data, what's been very helpful is how something stops. So let's say an athlete or something is traveling very fast, and we want to see, you know, how it's stopping. Okay, so it's going to measure the g-forces, as we can see. And it's also going to tell us right underneath here, you can see the peak values in each of the planes that you're measuring. So that's the maximum value that you see there. So linear data is very, very good for measuring what I call collisions. So, and then finally, the angular data is going to be measured in degrees per second. So that's if we're looking at actually a human limb. So how is that human limb moving in real time? How fast is it moving, etc. So, and that should get you started with your new ETRAK Phoenix wearable. Okay, so once you have the device, we've unboxed it, we've connected it to the app, we've started a session. Now it's time to get it strapped and start collecting and see what's going on. Okay, so we're just going to put the device on the hand right now just for demo purposes. But once you get the device placed, the straps actually work like a cinch. So what we do is we're going to thread them through the sides, and they've got some holes in the enclosure there. So we're going to thread through the sides, and you're going to pull down tightly on each side, okay? And then you're going to use it as a little cinch and a butterfly to get it nice and tight so that you can move and we can start collecting. So this device, these straps are really built so that you can move very, very quickly and hold the device in place. So it's got some flexibility in the strap, but it's also really nice because it's pretty comfortable, and that hardware is really stuck snug against the hand, so we're really going to be able to see the details of whatever it is that you want to see when you attach it to the body.